2021 has been a totally disastrous year for the WWE, and I'm not talking about their profits because those are completely different. No, I'm talking about the actual product. They have fired so many talented wrestlers that could have been huge for the company and the future of the WWE. Amongst that list of really stars is Keith Lee. We all expected big things for him after seeing his work in NXT because he was a once-in-a-lifetime type of talent. The way he could move around in that ring was incredibly special. Lee's ability to perform acrobatic moves at his size was something that we've never seen before, and it literally didn't make sense. Like, logically speaking, I don't know how he did half those things. Keith Lee was destined to quickly connect with the WWE Universe, becoming a superstar for the foreseeable future, and then the WWE completely ruined him, which is a shame because he had so much upside. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at his career, the rise and fall of it, pinpointing the exact moment where WWE went wrong. It's important to look at Keith Lee's journey before arriving to WWE because it really shaped his wrestling character. Without the origin story, there is no Keith Lee, and it all starts in 2005. That is the year where he decided to start wrestling being trained by Tim Brooks. For an entire decade, Keith was a part of the Indies. And I say Indies because he really didn't get the chance to work with the promotions like Ring of Honor or PWG yet. No, this is where he spent 10 years fighting in local gyms with 10, 15, 20 people watching him. It was the time to grind it out and try to get noticed by some promoters around town. 2015 is when he got his big break and joined Ring of Honor, spending 2 years with the promotion a part of a tag team. Lee then jumped to Evolve for a year and ultimately left that organization too after signing a contract with PWG. Keith Lee quickly became a hot commodity after being initially noticed in 2015 and even sparked the interest of a certain individual from Stamford, Connecticut. It was time for him to shine in the biggest wrestling company on the entire planet, and that is World Wrestling Entertainment. Keith Lee had a spectacular NXT career. Triple H perfectly booked him to the point where the expectations were through the roof. They were set really high. In 2018, he didn't do too much, but he was showcasing his skills through some exhibitions. 2019 was his breakout year. This is where he had those stellar bouts with Dominik Dijakovic. Other than that, he also spent a majority of his time feuding with Adam Cole, Finn Balor, and Johnny Gargano for the rest of the year. Keith Lee was being presented as a top guy, and he was more than ready for that role. The WWE even put him in a position where he nearly defeated Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. Despite taking the loss, that was a huge moment for him. It showed that the audience already cared about him before even joining the main roster, and CM Punk was very vocal about WWE capitalizing on his momentum. He would not appear on the main roster again until Royal Rumble, and even when he did, it was clear that they really didn't have too many plans for him to make him look as good as he did at the other pay-per-view. Keith Lee then spent another 7 months in NXT for 2020, winning the NXT and North American Championship, and I personally think that that was a mistake. I think he should have joined the main roster in the beginning of 2020. He really did not need to stay with NXT. That was a mistake, but it didn't really ruin him. Speaking of ruining him, this is probably the perfect time to mention that because it happened the second he made his debut on Monday Night Raw. Keith Lee's first segment was interrupting Randy Orton and then having a match that ended in a disqualification. The problem with this was that Keith Lee's attire was absolutely ridiculous. The WWE did not like his body's appearance, and they covered up his body with an atrocious top. It was the moment that I realized that it was ruined because it showed that the WWE was going to change everything about Keith Lee, which is exactly what happened. Not only was he given this terrible attire, but he also got a new entrance theme song that was pretty generic, and it wasn't as good as his previous song in my opinion. It just wasn't the same Keith Lee that worked so well in NXT. The WWE always tries to make these stupid ass changes, and it does nothing but destroy the character. And the destruction started with that simple attire change and ended with a complete repackage, and shortly after that, a release. When will WWE ever realize that they are their own biggest problem?